Hey, welcome to another Sunflower Travelers video. We're doing our top 10 favorite hikes.
And honorable mentions because we can't help ourselves. And we had a hard time picking between a lot of these. And these are just ones we've been to.
In the U.S. only.
Yes.
And on public property. Not private. No, not almost. Some of the best hikes.
I don't. Yes.
Can I start off?
Do it.
All right. Upper Muley Twist Canyon was one of my favorite hikes. We did a 2-day backpacking trip there. It's in Capital Reef National Park in Utah. It is the way we did it, 10.3 mile loop.
Yes. Well, they're always 10.3 mile loop.
You could also, we drove the first 3 miles of road. If you're unable to drive that, it adds 3 miles. It's supposed to be 4x4. We drove it in a little car. So yeah, I guess that would make it more of a lollipop
in
trail.
In our rental car.
Yeah, that would make it more of a lollipop trail, adding 6 miles.
Yes, it is
and
a lollipop.
Maybe a day. But the drive wasn't that bad in our little car.
We arrived late in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Because we had plenty of time. Then we backpacked it under Saddle Arch.
Yeah.
Which I think was one of your favorite parts.
That was really cool. And just looking at the stars with the arch, and it was really cool. Also, as far as backpacking goes, I think we left our tent and supplies, did the rest of the loop, came back a little bit and got our stuff, and then hiked out with our stuff. So that was really nice too.
And you'll go through narrow canyons and an excellent view of the Water Pocket Fold, which is a very interesting, huge.
Yeah.
I was going to call it a structure, but I don't think it's a geological feature.
Yes, that's a good way to say it. Very just an amazing hike. We also enjoyed that the first day we saw nobody, and it wasn't until later and after lunch probably that we saw people. Now, since we made this video, it's going to be much more popular. So we can deal with that. But
it's gonna be packed.
When we were there, it was basically our park. It's amazing.
The next hike is Skyline Trail in Mount Rainier National Park in Washington. This is a 5.5 mile loop with 1,625 feet elevation gain. You are not going to be the only person on this trail. This is a popular trail, but for a reason. You'll get a close-up of Nisqually Glacier. There was tons of wildflowers out when we were there in August. Hoary marmots, Byron. I'm not calling them a name. That's just what they are.
Well, and their activity is atrocious.
We saw them up close. We saw black bears not so up close. That was okay, though. And you're going to see views of Paradise Valley, Mount St. Helens, Mount Adams, unless you're up when we were, which was very cloudy. But it started to clear up a little bit. And part of the path is carved into a steep snowfield, which I thought was really neat, just the variation of it. And it was so green and colorful and really pretty.
It was beautiful. Hall of Mosses in Olympic National Park. It's another one in Washington State. It's a super simple hike. It's about a mile, 1.1 mile. Easy loop is what we have noted here.
That's what they know.
Yeah, very pretty. If you're anywhere in the area, you have to do this one. It's a mile.
It's a must-see. It's an iconic trail in the not calling it a name again. Rainforest, H-O-H. But
leave comments below if you feel that she's just calling people hoes and
hories.
So
the trees are covered in moss, and ferns are all underneath. We got there the first thing we did, and we were really glad because by the end of it there was lots of people that were arriving. Now it says it takes about 24 minutes. We took over an hour because it was awesome.
Yeah, stop and smell the roses or flowers. But
or mosses.
Yes, stop and smell the mosses. Don't eat them or really mess with them. But it was just so pretty. You don't want to do 15-minute miles on a hike like this. That pace is ridiculous. So enjoy it. It's short. Hopefully it's good weather for you and you get to see some really cool things.
Chesler Park in Canyonlands National Park in Utah. This is 10.7 miles. It takes about 5 to 7 hours, although you can choose to just hike to the Chesler Park viewpoint, which makes it 6 miles total. If you just go to the viewpoint, you're going to see panoramas of the Needles, and you are in the Needles district of Canyonlands National Park, which is less visited than the Island in the Sky section of the park. Surprise.
I really enjoyed this hike. It was basically the whole day for us. I mean, it was almost 11 miles, like you said. It was what we did that day.
Well, we lollygag.
We do lollygag, but it's just you see a really cool rock formation, and then before you know it, you're there, and then before you know it, it's behind you, and then you see another cool one, and there it is. It reminded me kind of like in one of those weird video games. It's like, oh, that was cool, and then you can go to that spot.
In video games?
Yeah, like it's like an open world. It's like an open world. Anyway, but it's like you can go to that. You see this really cool thing off in the distance, and you're there. And then another one, and you're there. And like, this is really neat. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Yeah, this is a lollipop trail, and you're going to go into narrow fractures in the rock. They're not necessarily slot canyons, but they're very skinny, and you enjoy trying to get stuck in them, I do believe. But there are a lot of colors. They're rocks, but it's tons of colors. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I would say this one, high sun exposure. On my personal scale, I'd say it's a 10. That's basically 100% of the time you're going to be in the sun.
Wait a minute, you have your own personal?
Yeah, 1 would be basically 10% of the time it's sun. So 0, like whole rainforest would be basically 0. You're not going to be in the sun. 10 is all the time you're in the sun. Bring a hat, bring sun protection.
Yeah.
If you don't, you'll be wishing you did.
Yes.
You're in the sun.
Yes. Quinault Rainforest Nature Loop. Oh, I think I took your turn.
That's okay. I'm excited to hear you talk about Quinault.
It's an Olympic National Park in Washington. Okay, this one is super short. 0.5 miles, half a mile, interpretive loop trail, considered easy. And when I think, if I only had to pick a few, I think this one would be on it. You know those, like Lord of the Rings, where elves might be at?
Yeah.
I feel like they would live there. In Quinault,
Rainforest
Nature Loop.
I was thinking the bad guys, the orcs.
No, you're thinking. Oh, I thought you were thinking of the cookies. I think.
Oh, the Keebler elves.
Yeah.
No, those
guys.
That's
you know what?
Those
they would
guys
like
are in the whole rainforest.
No, they would like it there too. This is a different portion of Olympic National Park.
Yeah, there's no secret that Olympic National Park made it on here more than once.
Well, it's awesome, and this hike, it's less busy than the whole rainforest.
Yeah.
It's not like it's unknown. However, you're hiking through towering trees again. There was a creek down below, waterfalls. This connects with other short trails. Banana slugs everywhere, which also in the whole rainforest. But
do not taste like bananas.
They do not.
They are big, though. They're cool.
Yeah, they're cool. Otters. So we also saw a group of older folks bird watching. That did not deter me from loving this one. It inspired me. I think we should do that when we get older. We're going to go on bird watching trips.
I'm already older.
They were excited about
They were pumped about some little
the
bird.
dead bird. But it also had a lot of fallen trees, and it seemed that it kind of enhanced the trail. Absolutely a magical trail.
Yeah, like not just with the elves. But just magical in this.
But the elves would like it. It's that good.
Yeah. Let's hop into the different climates that we experienced in Angel's Landing.
Angel's Landing, Zion National Park.
In Utah, of course, it's a 5-mile round trip. Elevation of 1,500 feet. It is a challenging hike.
It is.
If you're afraid of heights, you probably would just do something else. We saw some people who were having little mini panic attacks. It's like, you probably shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If it's a little bit sketchy and you could get through it, I think you'll like it more.
Well, this is the only hike on our list that you have to have well, that's not entirely true. There's a lottery system for this to get a permit in order to do this trail. We went before they required it, and we went in early March, and it was not crowded at all.
Yeah.
It was no problem.
Just saying we went before it was cool.
We went before, and it was cool at the time.
Before it was popular.
That's basically why everybody wants to go now.
The video we haven't made about it. Yeah.
Yes. But okay, so here's the thing: we were not when we went there. People recommended, and here's a suggested alternative if you can't get the permit, is Hidden Canyon, and we have not done it. We were going to do it that day, but then since it was closed, actually,
yes,
we ended up doing Angel's Landing. But I guess on Hidden Canyon, it also has the exposures on one side instead of both, but you're looking down at the people on Angel's Landing. It's on my list. I hate to tell you.
If we ever go back.
To go back and do.
Yeah, Zion was amazing. Now this one, is this one we had a little cheese on there?
Yes,
Aaron?
so Cathedral Spires Trail in Custer State Park, which is in South Dakota. And probably one of the best state parks in the country. Hi, Cheese. You were there. Cheese is there. She went on this hike.
She's not photogenic.
She's not. I can even. I know you're just looking weird in front of the camera.
Yeah, cheese.
So this is, if you've heard of the Needles Highway, this is off of the Needles Highway. It's 3 miles round trip. It's an out and back trail. It is moderate, just because of the very first part.
Moderate, but a 3-legged dog can do
A
it.
3-legged dog can do it. Yes. She's no
Girl.
moderate dog. So this starts with the rocky climb, but it evens out, and then you get to be amongst the granite spires. There's also a vista point that you're looking out of, and I thought it was. Now we did it before rainstorms coming, and we did it in the evening. So
yes,
we were the only ones on the one of the only ones.
I was constantly having a little private battle with, oh, this is really cool. Take pictures. Take some video and hurry up because it's going to be a rainstorm and it's going to get mean out here.
You probably won't experience that, but I would also recommend doing this in the morning or the evening. Although it's not near as popular as Zion and some of these other places we've mentioned.
Yeah. Another one for the more adventurous is similar to Angel's Landing, but a little different. In Acadia National Park, it's in Maine, the Precipice Trail. Precipice. 3.2-mile loop. You'll climb about 1,000 feet in a little under a mile.
That's just a portion of it because it's really trying to warn you about the part where you're really climbing.
Yes.
And this is...
You go up a cliff.
You do go up a cliff. And you're hiking up to the top of Mount Champlain. There is a way to come up the back way, which is actually the way you go down. Because you would not... It is not recommended to go down the iron rungs.
That's the issue. There's it's like
ladders.
It's not a ladder so much.
Well, there are ladders, but there's iron rungs that are kind of form a ladder as you go up.
Super fun.
And if this one is too long, there is a similar one, Beehive Trail, which is shorter, not quite as difficult, but still a really fun thing. This was the season. We went in August, late August, I think. We ate blueberries along the trail.
Yeah, to get some many bees.
These aren't normal blueberries. These are better blueberries. Wait,
the size.
What about trees? Bees?
The beehive. You mentioned the beehive.
Oh, no, we didn't do that. But anyway, the blueberries were delicious.
They're tiny blueberries.
And of course, because you're on an open cliff face, is that the right way to say that?
Okay.
So you're seeing views the whole time.
Yeah, well, if you're able to look back at it or
Acadia is super busy. Oftentimes the parking lots have difficulty. This one we did, I think, first thing in the morning, and we do not regret that.
Yeah, get up there. Oh, well, I think most of these times you could say, start before the crowd starts.
Yes.
And you'll be better off.
And because if you have someone who's super slow on the iron rungs,
you don't
it's gonna cause everybody to wait, and then it's not very fun if everybody's waiting on you because the person before you. So do that one first.
Becky, tell us about the Tuckerman Ravine Trail.
Tuckerman Ravine Trail is in Mount Washington State Park in New Hampshire, and what it does is...
What does it do?
It summits Mount Washington, which Mount Washington is one of the most... Is it the windiest or most extreme weather?
That's where I lost my hair.
Yes. Just this portion's mostly, and a little bit in the back.
It was so windy.
It's 4.1 miles one way, and you're going to have 4,300 foot of elevation change. So Mount Washington sits at 6,288 feet.
Yeah. It was challenging.
it was challenging. It's one of the shortest, though, hikes up to Mount Washington. It's also one of the most scenic. That's probably an opinion, according to people, and it's one of the most popular. And I can see why. So I don't think it's quite halfway, I'm not sure, but you go through Hermit Lake Shelters, which was a cool place. And there's people camping, so if you wanted to do that. You could also, so you can take a cog up to the top, and you can drive up to the top, or you can hike up to the top, and then
With
get
your own legs.
way down. Or you can hike down like what we did. And I wasn't sorry. And there was so many beautiful scenic areas on the way up there, and it was a big, there was a lot of variation.
Should we do our honorable mentions before you finish it off with, with our big one?
Okay, sure. Let's do our honorable
Okay.
mentions.
Go ahead, start us off.
I will start us off with Cavern Loop Hike in Channel Islands National Park. Channel Islands National Park in California, which is one of the lesser visited in the contiguous U.S. It is a 2-mile round trip. It's a moderate hike. I liked this one because you get a lot of bang for your buck at Channel Islands, but if you have more time, we also did Smuggler's Cove, which is 7.5 miles. It goes through the interior. I guess I'm kind of cheating by putting 2 honorable mentions into one. But we saw a lot of scrub jays on the longer hike.
Yeah, and really cool
eucalyptus trees.
Those are pretty.
You really liked those. And some interesting flora and fauna. We saw island foxes on both of these hikes. And while we were hiking, we saw whales spouting?
Yes.
Spewing?
Breaching and...
Breaching?
Yeah, I don't know.
We saw
breathing.
whales.
We saw them breathing.
Whales.
They love air. I would say this, you're more likely to see foxes closer to camp.
True, they were very close to us.
They kind of like
they're interesting little critters.
Yeah, maybe they're just less shy close to camp, or maybe they're trying to get food. But we saw most of our foxes within a half mile, I would think.
Okay, give us another honorable
All right, Flume Gorge.
Flume Gorge.
Franconia Notch State Park, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire again?
It's a 2-mile loop, New Hampshire.
Yes.
It's pretty. It's got nice water features. It's got waterfalls, covered bridges.
Yes, what it is a natural chasm. I feel really smart saying that.
Because I'm just sick of all these unnatural chasms that we've been going to.
Me too. But this was really green, and we did this in August. We did this actually after our hike up Mount Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
And so this takes about 1.5 hours, and I don't remember how long we took, but I guarantee you it was well beyond that. But you do need to have reservations or time tickets.
You got to get those
ticketed time
on
entries.
or off the line.
But this is I think you have to get it online, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it's generally easy. We got it a couple days before, and it was fine. But we were late August. And there, you're on a boardwalk. I wish it lasted longer. It was a really neat place. All right, give us the last one.
We did Grand Canyon rim to rim, and we've done it. We only did it once, but it was years ago, and it still holds a high shelf.
Yeah.
Spot.
One of the best.
With us both.
We chose to do North Kaibab to Bright Angel Trail, but so that's a total of 24.6 miles and 5,500 feet in elevation gain. So here's the thing though that I would say. I remember when we got back, or even when we were doing it, and I said, everyone that is capable of doing this, I wish they would do it, even if you're not a backpacker, because there's so much. There's a store. No, I shouldn't call it a store. A restaurant at the bottom.
Yes.
And there's if you don't like to poop in the woods, there are toilets.
There's really not woods.
Well, I just mean
it's in the desert,
I just mean
yeah, outside.
Digging a hole. You don't have to do that because there are toilets. I was shocked to know.
Yeah.
And there's flushing toilets at the bottom.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Oh, sure.
But that being said, it is a backpacking thing.
It's still backpacking.
You have to bring your tent. You have to bring. We saw people that
Yes.
we're not prepared. It is hot.
Yes. It's hotter at the bottom. So if that's just not something that you're going to do, you can go partway down. They have a 1.5 mile rest house and then a 3 mile down. This is from the south rim. Rest house that you can use, which has water most of the time. So that's something you could do. Our favorite spot on that whole trail was Plateau Point.
That's true.
And we watched the sun go down. We were highly recommended that from one of my buddies, and he was right. It was awesome.
Way to go, buddy.
Way to go, buddy.
I would say on this one, we started on the north rim and we hiked to the south rim. It saved us a little bit of climbing towards the end. I think the north end is a little bit higher.
North rim is higher, and that's why we chose to do it. But the north rim is not open all year.
Making this impossible to do on some times of the year.
Yes. But I think the north rim is underrated.
It was cool.
That was a really neat portion of the hike.
And then I'd also say that the two of us went, we rented a car, left it on North Rim, and you can get a shuttle. Try to book it ahead of time so they know you're going to be there.
Yeah, it helps.
And they'll shuttle you back to your car.
This is one that you do have to have if you're going to camp. You have to have, what's the word?
You put in for it. To get your camping spot. Like it's
a permit?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But we put in to get our camping spot at the day that it was open. You know, they do it so many months or weeks before you can get it. We got our first choice.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Those are some of our favorite hikes in the U.S.
And, we're coming up on some neat New York State parks. And we haven't been to Glacier Yosemite yet, if you're mad about those. Why they're not in there is because we haven't been there yet. And I think once we go to those different places.
And Alaska will make some good ones.
Oh, yes. So we'll have to redo this maybe.
Yep.
Until then, if we had a sign off, we would do it. We don't have one. Okay, just go press the button.
Hopefully we brought a little bit extra goodness to your trip when you make it.
Goodness?
Yeah, make it a little bit better. I did this hike because of that.
We hope for some goodness. For
yes.
you.
Goodness gracious.
Turn it off.